There's a bit of the Garden of Eden in all of us. We want a lot of happiness. We have a lot of longings. We want them satisfied. And sometimes the longings are in contradiction. In our lives. There's a wonderful opportunity to ponder some of this today with the readings. We have a whole switch in readings now because we finished all this time with the Old Testament, with the Hebrew scripture readings in the book of Tobit. And today we're switching over to the New Testament and that alternating pattern which characterizes the cycles of readings we do throughout the entire year. And we're also done with the Gospel of Mark. We didn't finish it completely because obviously the passion part and resurrection part were dealt with in the Easter season, which is just 2 months ago. And so we're now, and we completed all the part of the public life of Jesus, so now we're starting with Matthew and the Sermon on the Mount, which is right over this little bush here, where it's remembered today. And thousands of pilgrims, tens of thousands of pilgrims at the moment. It's really crowded. In the Holy Land are visiting there every week for the moment to perceive the beauty of the Sea of Galilee, the arena of Jesus' public life, and pray a little bit there, ponder the thoughts. And always this text that we have today is read there. But of course we always have a psalm from the book of Psalms, and that keeps us anchored, if you will, also in the piety and faith of God's people, being formed with throughout the centuries, the millennia. I'm thinking to head down this road today. It's a while since we've been down here. A little change. We might spy a bird close up, but they're usually ahead of the game and they'll take off before we're in danger zone. So there's a little bit of Eden in all of us. It's part of the dynamic of our lives. There's, I don't know if you could put it this way, there's quite a portion of Calvary also. It's interesting how, if we look at the either of the readings today, they really dovetail, because the reading of Paul is all about something going on here with my phone. Bear with me, I lost the readings. Can you believe that? So I'm going to have to start over here. But we're in the beginning of the second letter to the Corinthians, and he uses the word encouragement so much. And he calls God the God of encouragement. And that word in about 7 lines shows up, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 times. I didn't count them, you can count them. It's amazing to see the number of times the word encouragement is there. Now, why would you need encouragement? because you're discouraged. The word cor is heart, cordial. We say disheartened. We don't use the word enheartened. We use the word disheartened. We use the word encourage and discouraged. Well, that's basically the same thing. So if we had a word called enhearten, to put a new heart in people. In fact, this is a theme I often talk about almost every time in the Boat Altar Chapel. The word duc in altum, go out into the deep. That's the word of encouragement. How many times have you parents and grandparents and spouses given encouragement to your children? Encouragement when they're a little bit sick, encouragement when they're lacking interest in doing their homework. All the motivations. You've become a master of motivation. Wow, the bees are busy here because this is fully in bloom, and I'm sure it's very rich in nectar. Life has a lot of nectar, and we are like the bees. We've got to make the honey with the nectar. It's not complete. This is also a little bit like the encouragement, you know. I should get closer there so you can recognize which flowers, those of you who are flower experts. And there we got a little bee visiting. I can hear the humming here. Maybe you can even hear them. There are just lots of bees here right now. I should be on the other side of them so you can see it from the light side. Encouragement. Imagine waking up every morning and thinking, whom do I need to encourage today? Whom do I need to encourage today? And that decimates our own problems. Many times we're in need of Copernican revolution, you know. We're so revolving around our little problems. They could be serious, but there are people whom we can encourage and help. And when we start doing that, our problems take another perspective, another context, another dimension. Not much nectar here on these flowers. These are just grass flowers. We got 3 purple herons, and then we got this white one. And if you look at the Beatitudes, really, the Beatitudes are a powerful word of encouragement. They're extraordinary. They're probably unrivaled in any literature of mankind as words of encouragement. Blessed are the poor. Blessed are those who mourn. In other words, it's not the end of the road, the circumstance you're in. It's not the end of the road. There's a turn in front of us here, and it's going to open up another stretch. And for some people with terminal illness, then it's another stretch ahead that mightn't also be a lot better in physical conditions, but it can be a lot better spiritually. Blessed are those who are persecuted. Gee whiz. That's absolutely amazing. Looks like these birds aren't happy I'm here today. We don't have any ill will, just the highest appreciation for them. Wow, there's another little red flower here now. They're small, okay. Let's put my finger in there so you can see. And then there's a different type of one over here. A little shrub blossom of some kind. If you recognize the leaves, they're not really leaves. This incredible abundance of nature, of forms. Amazing all the attention that human beings have given them to produce volumes of scientific books about all these plants and their interrelatedness. And here we have some blooming capers. And then we have the little buds of the capers. These are pretty big actually. To go with your salmon. There's another one here. You can see all the ants checking it out. Other smaller ones over here. Another ant, 2 ants checking that one out. And the road continues. So really, the Beatitudes are spoken to people that are really frustrated, really their desires of their hearts are not fulfilled. They're frustrated, they're contradicted, they're blocked, they're deprived. Blessed are you when you suffer injustice. Can you imagine? First of all, who doesn't experience, at least subjectively, a sense of injustice? And very often there's real injustice, but really real injustice. There's another one there perched on that rock. There are about 4 purple herons around me here. It's just hard to catch them in the camera. Now that I get there, they're gone. There are really a lot of them around today. In that sense, then the Beatitudes are like a portrait of also the life of Jesus. It's like the words he speaks are reflecting his heart, which is usually the case of all of us, because we say what's concerning us, what's in our mind, what's in our heart. Sometimes people don't want to hear everything that's in our heart. And there was a line yesterday in the reading about affliction, and it said to test what's in our heart. The Lord allowed affliction to test what's in your heart. Because when everything is honky-dory, nice and beautiful, we can be nice to everybody. But when we're under incredible pressure, then there's a great opportunity there to form virtue, to develop and mature as a human being. Maybe there's a little, wow, 3 of them together. There's an insight into the Beatitudes. And I think most of us have the experience also of looking back at a time of difficulty and saying, that was a great time for my person. I grew in maturity. I actually grew in serenity. It was a very difficult time, but I grew, reached a greater self-mastery, a self-control. I matured as a person. And what once made me shiver and squirm, now it's nothing, it's trivial. I can face bigger things, tougher things, so I'm stronger as a person. So if you're in a time of ease and comfort and everything is going well, watch your heart that it's truly being faithful to God. Because that's when we become a little conceited and we think it's ours and we're in charge, and we become lukewarm. We neglect prayer. And if you're in a time of trial, of affliction, health, finances, relationships, then that's actually a great time for the soul. Blessed are you. Blessed are the poor. They will inherit the earth. Blessed are the peacemakers. Peacemakers are needed when there's conflict. A number of people are really trying to get peace between Russia and the Ukraine. And minds and hearts are so hardened there, it's going to be very difficult. We need a lot of prayer. So blessed are the peacemakers in the home. When we need the peacemakers when there's conflict, when there's trouble. And when there's trouble, that's not the end of the road. The road goes on further because there's another level. And that's why we can say blessed. The resurrection is coming after Calvary. So there's a piece of Eden in us and a piece of Calvary, and there's definitely a piece of the resurrection waiting to unfold in our lives. And here I got a lovely chunk of Mount Arbel's Southern Cliffs right behind me for the morning selfie. Here, look at this. See the protrusion of Mount Arbel up there. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Got the bees humming around here again.